Keep going. Your English learning journey. Introduction. You remember when you first wanted to learn English? It felt exciting, right? Like there were so many new things you could do. Maybe you thought about talking easily in a shop in London, doing well in a job interview, or finally knowing what your favorite English songs were about. It feels good to want to talk to more people, see new places, and become a better you. When you start learning, it's often easy to learn new things quickly, and that feels great. But then life gets busy. That first excitement can start to go away. You might practice, but not see the big changes you hoped for. You might forget words you just learned, or grammar rules can seem very confusing. Sometimes it feels a little scary to talk because you worry about making mistakes. You might see others learning faster and feel a little sad. This is when many people feel stuck. It's easy to feel upset, to wonder if you can really do it, or even to think about quitting. This is when your will to learn can get hurt. It's okay to feel this way. Learning a new language is like a trip with ups and downs. Keeping your will to learn strong is the secret to getting to where you want to go. You are not the only one who feels this way. This book, Keep Going, Your English Learning Journey, is here to help you and cheer you on. It won't teach you English in one night, but it will help you find a strong and steady way to keep learning, even when it's hard. We will look at how being happy about small wins, like learning a new sentence or using a grammar rule, right, can give you a big boost to your will to learn. You will find fun and good ways to study that can make learning feel new and exciting again, so you don't get bored and tired. We will also see how talking to others who are learning English can give you the help and support you need, keeping your will to learn high when you need it most. Think of this book as your map, with useful tips and true stories to help you through the hard parts. When you finish this book, you will know better how to keep your will to learn strong. You will learn what can slow you down and how to get past it. You will create your own study tools that work for you, and you will feel sure that you can keep going, even on days when it feels tough. Remember, the goal is not to be perfect, but to keep getting better. And the way to keep getting better is to have a strong will to learn. So, are you ready to make your English learning a success? Are you ready to keep going? Let's start. 1. How to keep learning English. Learning English is a big adventure. It can be exciting, but sometimes it feels like climbing a tall mountain. You might feel strong and happy when you move fast. Other times, you might feel stuck, and the top of the mountain seems very far away. This is normal. Everyone learning English feels this way. The good news is, there are ways to keep going and keep that excited feeling. You can make sure you don't give up. This is about keeping your learning motivation strong. Learning motivation is the inner spark that makes you want to learn and keep learning, even when things are hard. It means you feel happy to study and choose not to quit. How to keep learning English. Let's talk about keeping that learning spark alive. Think of a long car trip. Sometimes the road is smooth and easy and you drive fast. Other times, there are bumps, detours, or traffic jams. You don't stop the trip because of a few bumps, right? You find ways around them or wait patiently. Learning English is like that car trip. Sometimes you'll feel like you're flying, understanding everything, and speaking easily. Then, sometimes you'll feel like you're not moving forward. You might not understand a simple talk, or you can't find the right words. It's important to know this. Learning is not a straight line. It goes up and down. It's like a wave. Sometimes the wave is high, sometimes it's low. It's okay to feel lost or upset on some days. It doesn't mean you're a bad learner or that you should stop. It just means you are human and learning something new and hard. When you feel stuck, remember that this feeling will pass. It's a moment, not the end of your journey. Many people who speak English very well felt the same way you might feel now. They didn't give up. They found ways to keep moving forward, even slowly. So, how do we keep moving forward when we feel stuck? One of the best ways is to focus on the small wins. What does this mean? It means breaking your big goal of learning English into much smaller steps. Then, when you finish a small step, stop and feel happy about it. Celebrate. Think about it. Your big goal might be to speak English perfectly. That feels huge, right? It can even feel a little scary. But what if your goal for today is just to learn 5 new words about food? Or to understand the main idea of a short news report? Or to say hello and thank you to someone in English? When you do these things, you have achieved something. You have won a small victory. Let's say you were practicing ordering food. Maybe your small win for the day is just being able to ask, "Can I have a coffee, please?" without feeling too nervous. That's a win. Or maybe you were watching a TV show, and you suddenly understand a word you've heard many times but never really knew. That's another win. Even writing a short, simple email to a friend in English, saying just "Hi, how are you?" is a success. Why are these small wins so important? Because they build your learning motivation. When you notice these small successes, your brain feels good. It tells you, "Hey, I can do this. I am making progress." This feeling of success makes you want to learn more. It's like collecting little treasures. Each treasure you collect makes your journey more fun and gives you more energy to continue. Instead of only looking at the very big mountain top, you start to see the beautiful flowers and interesting rocks you pass along the way. Don't forget to notice and be happy about these small steps forward. They show you that you are learning. Now, how do we actually do this? First, set very small goals. Instead of "I want to be fluent," try this week, "I will learn 10 new phrases for talking about the weather." Or, "Today, I will practice saying 3 sentences about my hobbies." Then, when you reach that small goal, take a moment. Tell yourself, "Good job." Maybe you can even write it down in a notebook. "Today, I learned to say sentence." Seeing that list grow is a great way to see your progress and keep your motivation high. It makes the big goal feel less overwhelming because you know you're getting there, one small step at a time. Another very important way to keep your learning journey exciting is to try different ways to learn. If you only ever do one thing, it can become boring. Imagine eating the same food every single day. You would get tired of it, right? Your brain is similar. It likes new things. Learning English offers so many different ways to practice. Think about all the things you can do. Watch movies and TV shows. Start with shows you like, maybe with the English subtitles. Listen to how people speak, how they use different words. Listen to music and podcasts. Find music or podcasts in English that you enjoy. Even if you don't understand every word, you'll get used to the sounds and rhythm of the language. Read books, articles, or blogs. Begin with simple stories or topics you find interesting. Reading helps you see new words and how sentences are put together. Use language learning apps. There are many fun apps that use games and quizzes to help you learn words and grammar. Talk to people. Find language partners online or in your community. You can help them learn your language and they can help you learn English. Use flashcards. Write a word on one side and its meaning or a picture on the other. Test yourself often. Write a journal. Try writing a few sentences each day about your day in English. The key here is to experiment. Maybe you thought you didn't like reading, but you find a comic book in English that you can't put down. Perhaps you thought listening to podcasts would be hard, but you discover one about a topic you love, and it makes it easy to listen for hours. When you try new methods, you might find that one way of learning really works well for you. It makes learning feel less like studying and more like playing or exploring. This variety is important for keeping your learning motivation fresh and preventing that feeling of being stuck or bored. It helps you find what you enjoy most, and when you enjoy something, you want to do it more. Let me tell you about my friend Maria. Maria was learning English and felt very discouraged. She spent hours studying grammar rules from a book, but she still found it hard to speak. She felt like she was not making any progress and was starting to think about giving up. One day, I suggested she try watching a simple cooking show in English. At first, it was difficult. She only understood a few words. But she kept watching because she loved cooking. Slowly, she started to recognize words related to food and actions. Then she found a podcast about gardening which she also loved. She started listening to it on her way to work. She also joined an online group where people practiced writing short stories. By mixing these activities, watching shows, listening to podcasts, and writing, Maria found that learning became fun again. She wasn't just studying grammar anymore. She was experiencing the language through things she already enjoyed. Her learning motivation came back because learning was no longer a chore. It was part of her life. Finally, never forget the power of community and support. Learning English by yourself can feel lonely sometimes. When you face problems, it's easy to feel like you're the only one struggling. But you are not alone. There are millions of people around the world learning English, just like you. Connecting with others can make a big difference. How can you find this support? Join a study group. Find other people in your area or online who are learning English at a similar level. You can practice speaking together, help each other with difficult words, and share study tips. Knowing that others are working alongside you can be very motivating. Find a language partner. This is someone who wants to learn your language and you want to learn theirs. You can spend half the time speaking English and half the time speaking their language. This is a great way to get real speaking practice and to make a new friend. Many apps and websites can help you find language partners. Participate in online forums or social media groups. There are many online communities for English learners. You can ask questions, share your successes like those small wins, and read about what other learners have experienced. Seeing that others have overcome similar challenges can give you hope and encouragement. Talk to a teacher or tutor. If you have a teacher, don't be afraid to ask for help. They are there to guide you. Even a few sessions with a tutor can provide valuable feedback and new strategies. When you share your journey with others, you can celebrate your successes together. When you feel down, they can remind you of how far you've come and encourage you to keep going. They can offer different ideas and solutions to problems you might be facing. This shared experience strengthens your learning motivation because it creates a sense of belonging and accountability. You feel more committed when you know others are counting on you, or when you are part of a supportive group. Now, let's answer some important questions about keeping your motivation up. First, what are the most common reasons English learners lose motivation, and how do the strategies we've discussed directly address these reasons? One very common reason people lose motivation is that learning feels too slow. They study and study, but they don't feel like they are getting better. This can be very discouraging. Our strategy of celebrating small wins directly fights this. By breaking down goals and recognizing every little success, learners see that progress is happening, even if it's not huge. Leaps every day. It shifts the focus from the distant end goal to the present achievements. Another big reason is boredom or monotony. Doing the same thing every day can make learning feel like a chore. This is where embracing variety in study methods comes in. By trying new activities like watching movies, listening to podcasts, or using different apps, learning stays fresh and exciting. It keeps the brain interested and prevents that dull, repetitive feeling that kills motivation. Sometimes, learners feel overwhelmed by the difficulty. There are so many new words, complex grammar rules, and different accents. It can feel impossible to learn it all. Acknowledging that fluctuations are normal helps here. It's okay to not understand everything. It's okay to have days where you feel lost. This understanding reduces the pressure. Combined with the support of a community, learners realize they are not facing these difficulties alone. Sharing struggles and solutions with others makes the challenges seem much more manageable. Finally, some people lose motivation because they don't see the point anymore, or they forget why they started learning English in the first place. While this section focuses on how to keep going, remembering your original reason for learning is a powerful motivator. Perhaps it was for a job, travel, or connecting with family. Keeping that why in mind, and seeing how even small steps bring you closer to that goal, fuels your inner drive. The second question is, how can learners effectively identify and celebrate their small wins without making their overall progress seem small or setting unrealistic expectations? Identifying small wins is about being mindful and specific. Instead of just thinking, I studied today, try to pinpoint exactly what you accomplished. Did you learn 5 new words about your hobby? Did you understand the main idea of a short English news article? Did you manage to have a 2-minute conversation in English with a language partner? Write these down. A simple journal entry like, today I learned how to say I'm looking forward to it and used it in a sentence, is perfect. Celebrating these wins doesn't need to be a big party every time. It can be a simple moment of recognition. Acknowledge it in your mind. Yes, I did that. Or write it down in your progress journal. You could even tell a friend or your language partner about your small success. The key is to pause and appreciate the effort and the result. This positive feeling strengthens your learning motivation. Now, how do we do this without making it seem like these small wins are all that matters, or without setting ourselves up for disappointment? It's about balance. When you celebrate a small win, like understanding a new phrase, you can also acknowledge that there are still many more phrases to learn. For example, you could think, great, I understood that phrase. Now I know one more way to say something. There are many more to learn, but this is a good start. The trick is to see small wins not as the final destination, but as important steps on the way to your larger goal. They are proof of your journey, not the end of it. They show you that you are capable of learning and growing. They build confidence. By often recognizing these small victories, you create a positive cycle where success leads to more motivation, and motivation leads to more learning. This approach ensures you're always moving forward, appreciating each step, and building a strong, lasting learning motivation that will carry you through your entire English learning adventure. By actively using these strategies, understanding that learning has ups and downs, focusing on and celebrating your small wins, trying different and fun study methods, and connecting with others, you are building a powerful engine for your learning journey. You are creating a way to keep going, even when it feels hard. You are nurturing your learning motivation. The next step is to look at those moments when you feel truly stuck and learn how to get past them. 2. Celebrate small wins. Learning English can feel like climbing a very high hill. You look up, and the top seems very far away. It's easy to feel tired or want to stop. But what if I told you that the best way to reach the top is not just to look up, but also to look down at how far you have already climbed? This is where celebrating small successes comes in. It's like finding little places to rest when you climb, where you can drink water, feel proud of the steps you've taken, and get ready for the next part of your trip. Think about your desire to learn. Remember, It's that feeling inside that makes you want to learn and keep learning, even when things are a bit hard. Celebrating small successes is a very important way to keep that desire strong. It means noticing the small good things that happen when you learn each day and feeling happy about them. This makes you want to keep going because you see that you are getting better. Let's look at why this is so strong. The good feeling of success. When you learn something new in English, you notice it and you feel good about it. Your brain sends happy signals. This is called positive help. It's like patting yourself on the back. Imagine you are trying to learn a new word. You see it, you understand it, and then you use it correctly in a sentence. That feeling you get? That's the positive help. It tells your brain, hey, that was good. Let's do more of that. This feeling makes you want to do it again. If understanding a new word makes you feel smart and able, you will pay more attention to new words next time. You will feel more excited to learn. This is not just about feeling happy. It's a smart way to teach your brain to enjoy learning. The more you notice and celebrate these small moments, the more your brain connects learning English with good feelings. This is a big part of desire to learn. It makes you want to keep learning because it feels good, not just because you have to. This is different from only thinking about big goals, like speaking English perfectly. Big goals are important, but they can seem so far away that you don't get many chances to feel successful. Along the way, celebrating small successes gives you many chances to feel good about what you are doing. It's like collecting little treasures on your trip. Each treasure makes you feel richer and want to find more. Staying strong when things are hard. Learning English is like running a long race, not a short dash. There will be days when you feel like you are not getting better. Maybe you study for an hour and you still can't understand a part of a movie, or you make that same mistake with grammar again. These times can be very upsetting. If you only focus on the big goal, these hard times can make you feel like you are failing. This is when you can get very tired and lose interest. You feel tired, annoyed, and you might even think about quitting. But celebrating small successes acts like a shield against this sadness. When you have a habit of noticing and liking your small successes, you have something good to hold on to, even on hard days. Let's think about this. Imagine you are trying to learn English and you have been having trouble with listening. You listen to a talk and you only understand a few words. You feel sad. But then, you remember that yesterday, you were able to ask for your coffee in English without any problem. Or maybe last week, you understood a whole sentence in a song you like. Even though listening to the talk was hard, you can remember those other times when you did well. By celebrating those earlier successes, you remind yourself that you are able. You are getting better. You have a collection of wins to use. This helps you see that the hard moment is just one part of your trip, not the whole story. It stops you from feeling stuck in a bad mood. Instead of thinking, I am bad at listening, you might think, listening is hard right now. But I remember I did well ordering my coffee yesterday. I can keep trying. This change in thinking is very important for desire to learn. It helps you get back up after challenges and keeps your energy high. Without these regular boosts, the long trip of learning a language can feel too much and make you give up. What exactly is a small success? You might be thinking, what counts as a small success? Is it really a success if it's so small? The answer is a big yes. In learning a language, even small steps forward are important victories because they show you are moving. The goal here is to notice progress, not to be perfect. Here are some examples of small successes you might have when learning English. Understanding a new word or phrase. You hear or read a new word, like awkward, and you look it up. Then, you see it again later in a different place, and you understand what it means without needing your dictionary. That's a success. Or you learn a new saying, like break a leg, and you understand when someone uses it to wish you good luck. That's definitely a success. Simple conversations. Maybe you have a very simple chat with someone. You ask, "How are you?" And they answer, and you understand their answer. You might even be able to say, "I'm fine, thank you," without needing to stop and think too much. Even a short, simple talk like this is a huge success. It shows you can talk even a little bit. Understanding videos or music. You are watching a short video online or listening to a song you like. You don't need to read the words for the whole thing. You get the main idea or understand several sentences clearly. This is a fantastic success. It shows your listening skills are getting better. Using new grammar. You have been learning about the present perfect tense like "I have eaten." You managed to use it correctly when you were talking to someone or writing an email. For example, you say, "I have finished my homework." Using a new grammar rule correctly feels great, and it's a clear success. Reading practice. You read a short news story, a post on social media, or even the instructions on a product. You can understand most of it without getting lost. This shows your reading skills are growing. Every sentence you understand is a step forward. Better pronunciation. You have been practicing saying a difficult sound, maybe the TH sound. One day you say a word with that sound, and you feel like you said it much more clearly than before. Or someone understands you better when you say a certain word. That's a success. The important thing is that these are things you can achieve. They are things you can realistically do. They are proof that what you are doing is working. Don't ignore them because they seem small. They are the parts that build bigger successes. Every time you notice one of these, say it out loud. It makes your desire to learn stronger. Easy ways to celebrate your successes. So, you've had a small success. How do you actually celebrate it? The good news is, it doesn't need to cost money or take a lot of time. The celebration is about the act of noticing and liking your progress. Here are some easy and good ways to celebrate your small successes. Keep a success diary. This is one of the best ways. Get a notebook. It can be a simple one, and write down your small successes. When you have a success, write it down. For example, October 26th, understood a whole talk on the bus. Or November 1st, used the word opportunity correctly in an email. Looking back at this diary on days when you feel sad can be very helpful. It's a written record of your trip and all the progress you've made. Tell someone you trust. Share your success with a friend, family member, or another English learner. Saying, "Guess what? I finally understood that song lyric." Or "I had a short chat in English today," can make the achievement feel more real and important. It's also a great way for the people who support you to encourage you. Take a short, fun break. Did you successfully use a new phrase? Take 5 minutes to do something you really enjoy. Listen to your favorite song, look at some funny pictures online, or just sit quietly and breathe. This short break is a reward for your effort. It connects the learning activity with a moment of pleasure. Give yourself a small treat. Keep it simple and good for you. Maybe you understood a short news report? Reward yourself by watching 10 minutes of a TV show you like, even if it's not in English. Or perhaps you had a good practice session. Reward yourself by reading a chapter of a fun book you enjoy. The treat should be something that makes you feel good and doesn't get in the way of your overall goals. Avoid always linking treats only to food, as this can create bad habits. Think of other things that make you happy. Acknowledge it in your mind. Sometimes, just stopping for a moment and saying to yourself, "Well done. That was good," is enough. Really feel the sense of accomplishment. Close your eyes for a second and appreciate that you learned something new or used your English skills well. This mental acknowledgement is the start of all celebrations. The most important thing is to do it often. Make it a habit to look for your successes and notice them. This practice directly makes your desire to learn stronger by creating a good cycle. You learn, you celebrate, you feel good, you want to learn more, changing your focus from perfect to progress. Perhaps the biggest change from celebrating small successes is how it changes how you see things. Many learners, especially beginners, get stuck thinking about what they can't do. They compare themselves to people who speak English perfectly or to advanced learners and feel not good enough. The idea of being perfect can stop you from trying. But learning a language is not about being perfect from the first day. It's about getting better, step by step. Celebrating small successes helps you change your focus from the far away, perfect future to the real, clear progress you are making right now. When you celebrate understanding a new word, you're not just celebrating the word, you're celebrating your ability to learn. When you celebrate a short conversation, you're celebrating your bravery to speak and your growing confidence. These celebrations show your journey and your growth. They help you see that the path itself is valuable, not just the end point. This change is very important for lasting desire to learn. If you are always focused on the space between where you are and where you want to be, you will likely feel sad. But if you can appreciate how far you have already come, you become stronger. You understand that every mistake is a chance to learn, and every small success is a sign that you are on the right path. Think of it like this. If you want to run a long race, you don't just think about the finish line on the first day. You start by running a short distance. Then you run a little further. You celebrate finishing each short run. Each run you finish makes you stronger and more confident for the next one. You focus on the progress of running further and faster, not on being perfect and winning the race from the start. Learning a language is the same. Celebrate each short run, each small success, and you will build the desire and skills to eventually go the whole way. How does the idea of reinforcement directly help with the desire to learn a language, especially when celebrating small successes? The idea of reinforcement, a main idea in how people think, is all about how what happens after you do something changes whether you do it again. Positive reinforcement happens when you do something good, and then you get a reward, which makes you more likely to do the thing again. In learning a language, the good thing is taking part in learning, studying words, practicing speaking, listening, reading, or writing. When a learner notices and celebrates a small success like understanding a new phrase or having a simple conversation, they are giving a reward. This reward can be inside a feeling of pride, accomplishment, or happiness, or outside telling a friend, writing in a diary. This good consequence makes the learner feel good about what they did. Because of this, their brain starts to connect learning English with good feelings. This makes them want to keep learning more, their desire to learn. Instead of seeing learning as hard work, it becomes something that brings rewards, making the learner more likely to spend time and effort on it. Without this reinforcement, the natural difficulties of learning a language could easily be stronger than the good things, making the learner want to stop. What bad things can happen to a learner's desire to learn English if they often don't notice or acknowledge their small achievements? If learners often don't notice their small achievements, it can have a very big and bad effect on their desire to learn. First, they miss out on the important positive help that builds and keeps desire to learn. Their hard work goes unnoticed, and the brain doesn't get the happy signals that encourage them to do it again. This can make them feel like their efforts are not working, even when they are making small improvements. Second, not noticing these successes can make feelings of frustration and sadness worse. When learners only focus on the big, far-away goals and ignore the small steps they've taken, they can feel stuck in a loop of feeling like they are failing. Times when you don't feel like you're learning, which are normal, can feel like impossible problems instead of just stops along the way. This constant focus on what hasn't been done, rather than what has, can lead to being very tired and losing interest. The learner might start to doubt their abilities, wonder why they are even trying, and eventually lose the will to continue. They might feel alone in their struggle, thinking they are the only ones not getting better, which further hurts their desire to learn. Basically, by not celebrating small successes, learners don't give themselves the important encouragement they need and can create a place where doubt and lack of motivation grow. By actively noticing and celebrating these small victories, you build a strong sense of belief in yourself and keep moving forward. This positive help is a very important tool for learning English. It changes the journey from a climb that might feel too hard into a series of things you can achieve and that feel good. As we continue to explore, remember that this practice of celebrating progress is essential as we move on to find other active ways to keep your learning journey new and interesting, like trying different ways to study. 3. Try different ways to study. Sometimes, learning English can feel like you are on a treadmill. You work hard, you move, but you do not go to new places. This can happen if you always study English the same way. Maybe you only do grammar problems from a book. Or perhaps you only read easy stories. Doing the same things can become boring. When learning is boring, it is hard to be excited. You wish to learn, your learning motivation starts to fade. You might feel stuck, like you are not getting better. This feeling is common. It means your learning brain might be tired of the same old thing. Think about it. If you only ate the same food every day, you would get tired of it, right? Your mouth would want something new. Your brain is like that. It needs different things to stay interested. When you only use one or two study methods, you might miss other ways of learning that are more fun and work better for you. This is why trying new ways to study English is very important. It is not just to stop being bored, it is to find the keys that help you understand and make English feel alive. A big reason we get stuck is thinking there is only one right way to learn. But people are different. We all understand and remember things in our own ways. Some people learn best by seeing things. Others learn best by hearing things. Some need to do things with their hands or bodies. When you try different study methods, you try these different ways of learning. You look for methods that truly work for your brain, making learning easier and more fun. This search is important to keep your learning motivation strong. It is about finding what makes you curious and makes the language feel like an adventure, not a task. Trying new things also helps you build all the different parts of your English skills. Learning a language is not just one skill, it is many. You need to understand when people talk listening. You need to share your ideas speaking. You need to read books and websites reading. You need to write messages or emails writing. You also need to learn new words, vocabulary, and how sentences are put together, grammar. If you only practice reading, your speaking might not get better. If you only do grammar exercises, you might not get better at understanding fast talking. By trying different methods, you can practice all these areas. For example, listening to podcasts helps your ears get used to the sounds and speed of English. Acting out a scene with a friend helps you practice putting words together to speak. Reading about topics you like makes reading fun. Writing a short story helps you practice using new words and grammar. Each method works a different part of your language learning body. So, what new things can you try? Let's look at ideas for each skill. For listening, you can do more than just listen to your textbook audio. Have you tried listening to English podcasts? There are podcasts for everything you like, from cooking to sports to history. Many are made for English learners, so they speak a little slower and use easier words. Music is another good way to listen. Try finding the words to your favorite English songs and sing along. Movies and TV shows are great too. You can start by watching with English words on the screen subtitles. If that is too hard, try watching with words in your own language first, and then watch again with English words. YouTube has many things. Look for channels that teach English or channels about your hobbies in English. Listening a lot helps your brain get used to the rhythm and sounds of English, making it easier to understand. Talking in real life. When it comes to speaking, many learners feel shy. But practice is the only way to get better. A great way to practice is by finding a language exchange partner. This is someone who wants to learn your language and you want to learn theirs. You can meet online using apps or websites. You spend half the time speaking English and half the time speaking their language. It is a fair trade and a good way to have real talks. Online talking groups are also helpful. Many language schools or online groups have talks where learners can chat about different topics. Do not forget to practice by yourself. You can record yourself speaking. Read a part of a book out loud and listen to it. You might hear small mistakes you did not hear before. Another way is called shadowing. You listen to a short part of what a native speaker says and try to copy their voice, rhythm, and how they say words exactly. It feels strange at first, but it really helps you speak more smoothly and sound more natural. For reading, you do not have to read hard books. Start with things that interest you. If you like fashion, read fashion blogs. If you love cooking, find English recipe websites. News websites often have easier articles, especially parts for learners. Books made for different levels of English learners are called graded readers. They are like training wheels for reading. Comics and picture books are also good because the pictures help you understand the story. Even looking at social media in English can be a way to practice reading. The main thing is to read things you enjoy so it does not feel like schoolwork. This makes you want to read more, and more reading means you see more new words and sentence ideas, which naturally makes your learning motivation grow. What about vocabulary and grammar? These can sometimes feel like the most boring parts, but they do not have to be. Apps with flashcards like Anki or Quizlet are very popular. You can make your own digital flashcards with new words and example sentences. The apps help you review them at the right times so you do not forget. Online games that test your knowledge can make practicing grammar rules more fun than just filling in blanks in a book. Try drawing mind maps. For a new topic, like food, you can write food in the middle and draw lines for fruits, vegetables, ways to cook, places to eat, etc., adding new words as you go. This way of organizing words with pictures can really help you remember. And do not forget how powerful it is to use new words. Make it a challenge to write at least 1 or 2 sentences using the new words you learned that day. Using them in real sentences is the best way to make them stick. Finally, for overall immersion, you can make English a bigger part of your life. Change the language on your phone or computer to English. This makes you see and learn words you use every day. Walk around your house and put labels on things in English. Door, window, chair, lamp. Try to think in English. When you are doing something each day, like making coffee, try to talk yourself through it in your head in English. First, I get the coffee beans. Then I grind them. This thinking practice is very powerful for becoming fluent. These small, regular actions create an English-speaking world around you, making the language feel more normal and less strange. This constant, gentle practice is strong fuel for your learning motivation. Now, let's think about how to do this. It is very important to have an experiment attitude. When you try a new study method, think of yourself as a scientist in a lab. You are not trying to get a perfect score, you are trying to see what happens. Did you like listening to the podcast? Did you learn a new word from the movie? Did practicing speaking with a partner feel less scary than you thought? It is okay if a method does not work perfectly right away. Maybe that podcast was a bit too fast, or maybe you did not like the topic. That is fine. The important thing is that you tried it. You learned something about what you like and what helps you learn. The goal is not to find one magic method, it is to find a group of methods that work for you. This brings us to a couple of important questions. First, what are the signs that you might be stuck in a boring study habit? One big sign is feeling bored or not wanting to study when it is time. If you keep putting off your English practice or get distracted easily, that is a clue. Another sign is feeling like you are not getting better, even though you are studying. You might feel like you are going over the same grammar rules again and again without really understanding them, or you cannot remember new words. You might also feel upset or discouraged easily when you make mistakes. Seeing these signs in yourself is the first step to changing how you study. It is not a sign that you failed, it is a signal to try something new. The second question is, how can you choose and use new study techniques that fit you? It is not just about trying random things. Think about how you learn best in other parts of your life. Do you remember names better when you write them down? That means flashcards or writing exercises might be good for you. Do you like music and remembering song lyrics? Then using songs to learn English could work very well. Think about your goals too. If your main goal is to travel and talk to people, focus more on listening and speaking practice. If you need English for work emails, then reading and writing practice might be more important. Start small. Do not try to change everything at once. Choose one new method to try this week. Maybe it is listening to one new podcast episode or finding one language partner online. Give it a real chance for a few days. See how it feels. If it seems good, keep doing it. If not, try something else next week. You can also mix methods. You might learn new words from a blog post reading, then practice using those words by writing sentences writing and then try to use them in a talk with a language partner speaking. This way, you are making your learning stronger in different skills. The key is to be curious and open to new ideas. See yourself as an explorer looking for the best tools for your English learning journey. This active searching is a strong way to increase and keep your learning motivation. It makes the journey exciting and helps you feel more in charge of your own progress. Trying new study methods is not just about adding different things to your routine. It is about actively using the language in ways that work for you. It is about finding what makes English feel fun and easy to learn. When you try different techniques, you are not just learning English, you are learning how you learn best. This discovery about yourself is very powerful. It helps you get past moments when you feel stuck or when progress seems slow. By actively looking for new ways, you keep your mind fresh, your interest high, and your learning motivation alive and strong. This journey of discovery is a very important step, and it naturally leads us to the next important idea: knowing you do not have to do it all by yourself. Finding help from others can make a big difference. 4. Seek help and support. Learning English can feel like a long walk alone. Sometimes others seem to move faster. Other times, the path gets bumpy and hard. It's easy to feel like you're the only one finding it tough. But here's a secret. You are not alone. Everyone who has learned English or any new language has faced hard times. They have felt confused by rules, sad they couldn't understand, or shy to speak. Knowing this is the first step. The next, more helpful step is to find people to walk with you. Asking for help is not saying you can't do it. It shows you are smart and strong enough to know that having a friend helps you keep going. Think about building something big, like a house. Would you try to lift heavy wood all by yourself? You would ask for help. You would find people who know how to lift safely, who can tell you the best way to place things, and who can share the heavy work. Learning English is like that. It's a big, fun project, and having others with you makes it easier and more fun. When you share your good times and bad times, your worries and small wins, you build something great, your will to learn. This is the inner fire that makes you want to learn and keeps it burning, even when things are cold and hard. Being with others helps keep the fire alive by showing you that your effort is worth it, and people are cheering for you. One of the best things about being with other learners is feeling like you're not the only one having trouble. When you get stuck on a verb, or can't find the meaning of a word, it's easy to think, I'm the only one who doesn't know this. But if you talk to a friend also learning English, they might say, "Oh, I had that problem last week. This helped me." Suddenly, that confusing rule doesn't feel like a giant, impossible wall. It feels like a small jump that someone else has already made. This shared feeling is very strong. It makes the hard parts seem normal. It shows you that feeling confused or making mistakes is a normal part of learning, not a sign that you can't learn English. You see that everyone has these moments, and with a little help, you can get past them. This makes you feel less alone, which helps your will to learn. When you feel understood, you feel more sure of yourself and keep trying. Let me tell you about Maria. Maria had studied English for about a year. She read and wrote well, but speaking was very hard for her. She felt scared every time she had to say even a few words. She worried about making mistakes, about people not understanding her, or worst, laughing. She practiced alone in her room, saying words from her book, but she never felt ready to talk to anyone. She started to feel sad. Her will to learn was slowly going away because she couldn't see how her practice led to real talking. Then, one day, her teacher told her to join a small group to talk. Maria was very scared. She almost didn't go, but she made herself go to the first meeting. There were only 5 other people, and they all seemed a bit scared too. They took turns speaking, and when someone made a mistake, the others didn't laugh. Instead, they gave kind suggestions, or the teacher would step in and explain. Maria started to speak, very slowly at first. She made mistakes, of course, but people smiled and nodded. They understood her. By the end of the hour, she felt happy, something she hadn't felt in months. She had spoken English, and it was okay. She even felt excited to go back next week. The group didn't just help her practice speaking, it gave her the feeling boost she needed. She saw that others felt the same fears, and that together, they could get over them. The shared journey gave her hope and a new strength to learn. The help you can find comes in many different forms. It's not just one thing. Let's look at some of the most useful kinds of help. First, there are your teachers and tutors. These are people who have spent their work lives learning how language is learned and how to teach it. They are very valuable because they can give you clear steps. This means they know what steps to take, in what order, to help you build your skills in a good way. They can explain the hard language rules so they make sense. Most importantly, they can see what you are not good at. You might think you are bad at everything, but a good teacher can say, you are having trouble with past tense verbs. Let's focus on that. They are good at fixing your mistakes, so you learn, not just telling you they are wrong. A tutor, who might be a teacher or someone who has learned English well, can give you even more personal help. They can make their lessons fit exactly what you need and how fast you learn. When you feel lost about something, or you are getting ready for a test, a teacher or tutor is often the best person to ask. They can show you the clear way forward and give you the feeling that you are learning the right things in the right way. This kind of expert help is important for keeping your will to learn steady, as it shows you that you are making progress in a planned way. Then, you have study friends and language partners. These are people, often other learners or people who speak English and are learning your language, who you can practice with often. The biggest good thing here is practice, especially speaking and listening. You can't learn to speak a language just by reading about it. You need to do it. A study friend gives you a safe place to try. You can have talks, read things aloud together, or even play language games. The feedback you get from a study friend is often right away. If you say something that doesn't sound quite right, your partner can gently correct you right then. This is different from a teacher who might wait to give feedback later. This quick correction can be very helpful for speaking well. Besides the useful parts, study friends give each other great support. You are both on the same trip, facing similar hard parts. You can help each other feel better when one of you is feeling down. Come on, your friend might say, we can do this. Let's study for another hour. This shared effort is a strong boost to your will to learn. It makes the process feel less like a job and more like a team working together. You can also learn a lot from each other's ideas and discoveries. I remember when I was learning English, I found a language partner online. His name was Ben, and he was learning Spanish. We decided to meet online for an hour each week, half an hour in English and half an hour in Spanish. At first, I was very nervous to speak. My English felt slow and awkward, but Ben was very patient. He would smile and ask me to say things again if he didn't understand. He told me about his own problems with English sounds. This made me feel much better. We talked about our lives, our hobbies, and even our favorite foods. By the end of our meetings, I was speaking more easily and with more confidence than I had in weeks. Ben also showed me some great English music and movies that I had never heard of. This connection not only made my speaking better, but also made learning fun and showed me new things I liked. It was a perfect example of how a language partner can be a place for practice, support, and finding new things, all of which are very important for keeping your will to learn high. Next, let's talk about online groups and places to talk online. The internet has given us a world of help that was hard to imagine before. There are many websites, groups on social media, and special places to talk where English learners from all over the world meet. These groups are amazing for a few reasons. First, they have many people. If you have a quick question, like what's the difference between effect and effect? Or how do I say this in a normal way? You can often ask in a group and get an answer in minutes from someone who speaks English or another learner who knows. This is very fast. Second, these groups have lots of helpful things. People share links to good websites, apps, videos, articles, and study tips. You can find new ways to learn that you might never have found alone. Third, and maybe most important for your will to learn, these groups give emotional support. You can read posts from others who feel exactly how you feel. You can share your own troubles and wins and get kind words from people who really understand. Seeing so many others learning and helping each other can be very inspiring. It shows you that you are part of a bigger group, people all over the world trying to reach that same goal. Finally, don't forget your friends and family. Even if they don't speak English well or at all, their support can be a big reason to keep going. A friend who knows you are learning English can simply ask how your studies are going. They can listen kindly when you want to practice a sentence or two, even if they can't fix it. They can be happy with your progress. Wow, you are getting much better. They might say, and that simple praise can mean a lot. If you have friends or family who do speak English, they can help you practice and learn informally. Maybe they can help you with a word you don't know, or fix a small mistake. They can also create chances for you to use English, like asking you to watch an English movie with them or asking you to join them somewhere where English is spoken. This kind of informal help is like a warm blanket. It makes you feel loved and supported, and that feeling of safety can be a strong base for your will to learn. It reminds you that you have people who believe in you and want you to succeed. Now, we've talked about why asking for help is good and where to find it. But how do you actually ask for help well? It's a skill on its own. First, get your questions ready. Instead of just saying, "I don't understand anything," try to be specific. Show the exact sentence that confuses you, or the exact language rule you are having trouble with. For example, you could say, "I'm having trouble understanding why we use have been in this sentence. Can you explain it?" Or, if you are practicing speaking, "I'm not sure if I used the right word here. I said I arrived to the party. Is that right?" Being specific helps the person helping you understand exactly what you need. Second, be ready to get feedback. When someone offers help, they might correct you. It's important to listen without getting upset. Remember, they are trying to help you get better. Even if the correction feels a bit awkward, try to see it as a gift. Thank the person for their help. You can even ask them to correct you more often if you want. For example, you could say, "Thank you for explaining that. Can you please point out any other mistakes I make when I'm speaking?" This shows you are serious about getting better. This openness is key for keeping your will to learn strong because it means you are actively looking for ways to improve instead of avoiding hard things. Third, offer to help back. Learning is a two-way street. If you have a language partner or are in a group where people are learning different languages, offer to help them with their language. This makes the relationship fair and shows you are a useful part of the learning group. It also makes you understand your own language better when you have to explain something in your language. One of the most important questions we need to answer is how to get over the fear or feeling shy about asking for help. This is a big problem for many people. We are often told from a young age that asking for help means we are not smart enough or good enough. But in learning a language, this is not true. The truth is, everyone struggles. Feeling like you are behind others is a common but untrue thought. Every learner has their own speed and their own good and bad points. To get over this fear, try to change how you think about it. See asking for help not as a sign of being weak, but as a sign of strength and smarts. It shows you are taking action for your learning. It shows you are serious about your goal. Think about it this way: a runner who stops to tie a loose shoe isn't weak. They are being smart to stop themselves from falling completely. In the same way, asking for a clear answer or help is like tying that shoelace. It stops a bigger problem getting completely stuck and losing the will to learn later on. Start small. If you are in a class, try asking a question about something not too hard. If you are in an online group, read the questions others are asking and see that they are like your own worries. You can even start by thanking someone else for asking a question you also had. Slowly, as you get good answers and see that people are happy to help, you will feel more confident. Remember Maria, who was scared to join the conversation group. Her fear was real, but the good experience she had was stronger than her fear. The key is to take that first step, even if it feels scary. The good feelings you get from being with others are huge. You feel less alone, more understood, and more hopeful. This directly feeds your will to learn, making you more likely to keep trying. The useful parts of having different kinds of help are also very big. A teacher gives you the map and compass for the trip, making sure you are going the right way. A study friend is like another traveler you can share stories and snacks with, making the trip nicer and giving you support. Both are useful but at different times. When you need to understand a hard rule, the teacher is your best choice. When you need to practice using that rule in a real talk, your study friend is perfect. In the end, building a group of people who support you is like adding more fuel to your learning engine. When your will to learn starts to drop, when the road gets rough, and you feel like stopping, your group can give you the push you need. Your friends, your study partners, your teachers, and your online group can remind you why you started, celebrate the progress you've already made, and help you find new ways to keep moving forward. This connection is not just about getting over problems, it's about finding new ways to practice and understand, which makes the whole learning experience better and more effective. It's about realizing that this trip, while yours, is best taken with others. And when you have that support, you are much more likely to keep going. Conclusion: we have reached the end of our book, but this is not our real ending. It is a new start. Think of it like finishing one part of a fun story. You want to know what happens next. You spent time learning new ideas and ways to learn English from this book. Learning English is a trip. Sometimes it is easy and sometimes it is hard. The most helpful thing you have is your desire to learn. This is what keeps you going when things are tough. Think about your English learning so far. What have you learned since you started this book? Did you try a new way to study that we talked about, like using picture cards or watching a show with words on the screen? Did you talk in English and feel it was easier than before? Did you understand a new grammar rule or learn new words? Did you meet someone else who is learning English or find a new place online to help you? These might seem like small steps, but they are very important. Each one is a win. It shows you worked hard. Remember how we talked about being happy with small wins? This is why. Every small win gives you more energy to keep going. It shows you that you can get better. It makes you want to keep learning. It is easy to only see the days when learning feels slow, but if you look for and celebrate your small wins, you will see how much you have already done. You will remember your progress. This makes you want to learn even more. As you go on, remember the tools we looked at. These are not just tricks. They are your helpers to keep your desire to learn strong. We talked a lot about how good it is to be happy with your progress, even if it is small. This is your best way to not feel sad when learning is hard. When you feel stuck, look back at your list of wins. It is a real reminder of your journey. It helps you want to take the next step. We looked at different ways to learn, like listening to talks or practicing speaking with others. If one way feels boring, your desire to learn can go down. The main thing is to be able to change. Trying something new makes learning fun again. It keeps your mind working and your desire to learn alive. We said it is important to connect with others. Other learners, teachers, or people who speak English. Sometimes learning alone can feel sad. Sharing your problems and your successes with others gives you hope. It helps you keep your promise to learn. Knowing you are not alone is a big help. It is especially helpful when things are hard. These ways of learning work together. Being happy about wins makes trying new ways more fun. And having friends can help you find new ways and celebrate your wins. Your journey to learn English does not end when you finish this book. It is a path where you keep finding new things and getting better. Some days you will feel like you are flying. Other days you will feel like you are walking through thick mud. This is normal. It is part of learning. Your desire to learn is like a map on this journey. It will guide you on good days and help you through bad days. Now you know how to keep your map pointing forward. So keep going. Keep learning. Keep being happy with your wins. Your English learning adventure is just starting. If you keep wanting to learn, you can do anything.